good afternoon, good evening, fellow Nigerians all over the world. From wherever you are watching me from, I greet you at this hour. Please, I would like everyone to share this video. Share this video, let it go viral. My name is Akpoko or Gabriel. I'm here to discuss two issues. The number one is exposing a criminal sitting in the National Assembly there, the House of Representatives. I will be exposing a particular criminal who is sitting comfortably in the National Assembly. And then I will also talk about Nigerian courts. How reliable are they? Can an ordinary citizen still have confidence, have faith in Nigerian courts? That is one other thing we will be discussing this afternoon. And I will be giving you my testimony, personal testimony from Election Petitions Tribunal in Benue State. You see, when we talk about bringing sanity to the system, people don't really understand what we are trying to do. Please, if you can watch me, you wave. Please, can you see me? If you can see me, please indicate by waving your hand. Indicate by waving your hand. Please let me know if you can see me clearly. Let me know. Can you see me? Can you see me, please? Indicate if you are watching. Can you see me? All right, thank you. Mr. Luke Tega said he can see me. Thank you very much. Thank you. So at this time, I want to discuss with you about a particular criminal that is sitting right there in the National Assembly, the House of Representatives. I'll be mentioning his name, expose his activity, and then I will be discussing with you my experiences from Election Petitions Tribunal in Benue State, and then you should be able to tell if one can really have faith in the judiciary, Nigerian judiciary, how reliable Nigerian courts are. Like I said earlier, my name is Akpoko or Gabriel. I participated in Benue State local government election. I contested for the position of chairman of the local government this very year, 2020, the election they just concluded. And I'll be sharing my experience with you. But before then, when we talk about bringing sanity to the system, some people don't really know what we are talking about. When you experience what is happening in the system, you know how relevant the struggle to liberate Nigeria is. About the criminal in the National Assembly, You see, the talk of elections are not free and fair. It is because of the involvement of those criminals. Like every other election I participated, and during my course of consultation, I reach out to some stakeholders within the local government. One of the stakeholders I reached out to was a member representing Obio to Federal Constituency in person of Honorable Samson Oku. Honorable Samson Oku in the House of Representatives. I had a conversation with him before I started and seeking his support. I never knew he's such a rogue that he will never support my ambition because of the impunity that is in the system. The response I got from him was a shocking one. I spoke with him on phone, which I have the recording. The conversation is still on my phone. I spoke with him seeking his support. And he asked me, which platform are you contesting from? I said, I'm contesting from AAC, African Action Congress. And he laughed. He said, I shouldn't just worry myself at all that local government election is not a free and fair election. That the battle is going to be in the primary election of PDP. That no party will win. This is a National Assembly member talking, a House of Representative member talking, that no party will win apart from PDP. That all the members of the BSEC, which is the umpire, Benue State Independent Electoral Commission, that all the members we have there are all PDP members. This conversation, if time permits, I will play it to you so that you can listen to it. It's on my phone. Say all the BSEC members are they are all PDP members. BSEC staff, they are all PDP members. And that no party will win apart from PDP. That because of the system, the way they run the system, that they may even be given votes, that BSEC staff may even come and deliver votes to them. They will have to thumbprint from their residences before they get to the polling units. This is a National Assembly member talking. Elected lawmaker of the Federal Republic of Nigeria talking. That they will even have to thumbprint ballot papers from their residences before they get to the polling units. That even if I have money to use, I should not even consider it at all. I should not even consider the option of contesting at all. And my dear people, that was exactly what happened on election day. I participated in the whole of the process, and then on election day, what he said played out. They brought the materials the next day, not on the eve of election as it used to be. My people waited in vain. My supporters waited in vain. They brought the materials on the next day, early hour of the day, and they were taking them to his house, being PDP chieftain, where the malpractices will be done. We were able to protest. My people were able to protest, and the materials were taken to BSEC office. On getting there, we got another shock. All the original copies of the result sheet were all detached. They were removed. It was only duplicates they brought to the local government headquarters. They removed all the original copies. So we protested to no avail. They went ahead and declared Mrs. Agnes Uleko Erebe, winner of that election. And then, as it is expected, we went to court to seek redress. What happened in court is what I will explain also, the testimony, so that you can see how Nigerian courts are in some cases. The system is so bad, the system is so bad that the entire country will have to rise up in unison to liberate the country from the stranglehold of these oppressors. We went to court with 2 grounds, because through our own finding we were able to discover that the woman they declared, the purported chairman of the local government, Mrs. Agnes Erebe, that they declared, does not even possess the necessary qualification to stand for the election. She was not qualified. So we went to court with 2 grounds, and what happened in court will shock you. And that is why I want this video to go viral. I want the whole world to be aware of what is happening in Nigeria. Share the video. Share it to your friends. Let them be aware of what is happening in Nigeria, both in the executive and then in the judiciary, and even the legislature. Let everybody be aware of what is happening. The honorable member, who is not really honorable but horrible, who is sitting comfortably there in National Assembly, priding himself in how to do, on how to carry out malpractices during election. And I stand bold to say he got his own election through malpractices. He is not supposed to be a federal legislator. He is not even supposed to be a local government legislator. But he's sitting there, and it's the reason why you see the politics, our national politics, is like this today. Everybody wants to secede from Nigeria. He's sitting there, somebody who can boast and tell you that the PSEC, the electoral umpires can bring ballot papers, will even be bringing ballot papers to his resident for him to thumbprint. He said it on phone to me. He said it. And he's sitting there, a criminal. So the second aspect, the testimony, like I was telling you, we went to court to seek redress, believing that court will bring succor, believing that court will vindicate us. We approached the law court with 2 grounds. Ground 1, bordering on the qualification of the purported chairman elect, Mrs. Agnes Uleko Erebe. And the second ground was on the irregularities of the election, that they did not conduct election in line with the provisions of the law. On the qualification of that woman, we were able to uncover that all the documents, all the certificates she submitted to the umpire, to the PSEC, were all forged. The primary certificate was forged, and we were able to prove to court the forgery. The primary school certificate was forged. The GTC certificate, Government Teachers College, Adigbo certificate was forged. And then the third one, JCHU, Junior Community Health Extension Worker certificate, was also forged. For the primary school certificate, we were able to tell the court this woman claimed to have finished from one LGEA, Ito Town, where she attended primary 1 to primary 7 in the year 1970 to 1976. And through our finding, in our own finding, we were able to know that as at that time, 1970 to 1976, There was no LGEA at all. There was nothing like LGEA. There was nothing like LGEA in the country, the entire country, as at that time, 1970 to 1976. There was nothing like LGEA. LGEA came into existence January 1st, 1991. It was the New Year broadcast of the then General Ibrahim Babangida that established LGEA under Decree number 3. Decree number 3 of this man, General Ibrahim Babangida, brought in was what established LGEA across the country. And this woman claimed she attended her own LGEA from 1970 to 1976, where certificate was purportedly issued to her in 1978, February 1978, from Area Education Office Oju. So through our findings, we were able to uncover that. Then the one of Akpoko, where she claimed the government teachers college, were able to know also that it was forged. The one of Agasha, School of Health Tech, was also forged. So after the preliminary session of the court, the hearing of the case proper, what happened in court will shock you, fellow Nigerians. You will be amazed at what happened in court. The second day of the trial, the hearing of the petition, my lawyer made an arrangement with the subpoena witnesses. The subpoena was sent to those institutions to bring their documents to court, to come and tender evidence. And they all came. He made an arrangement on the second day of the hearing of the petition. They were all in court. They appeared. The area education officer, Mrs. Iriola, was in attendance. She was in court. The officer from Akpoko was in court. The officer from Agasha was in court. They were all there with their documents to tender evidence. Then, before the tender evidence, shortly when they were called to tender evidence, the respondent's lawyers, in person of Clement Mwe for PDP, Mike Aso for BCEC, Samson Odaga for the woman, for Mrs. Erebe. They objected, all of them objected to the subpoena witnesses tendering evidence. They claimed that my lawyer did not serve them notice of subpoena, and so the subpoena witnesses should not be allowed to tender evidence. And in line with the procedure of the court, and as the law permits, the panel headed by Justice Ibrahim Mohammed asked my lawyer to serve them the notice of subpoena right there in court. And they were all set. So after serving them, they asked for time to study the notice. And the panel gave them 20 minutes to go and study the notice, to peruse the notice, and then return. So we went on break for 20 minutes. When we came back, they asked for additional 24 hours. They pleaded with the court that in the interest of fair hearing, in the interest of justice, they should be given 24 hours to study the notice. That the 20 minutes that was earlier given to them was not sufficient for them to study the notice of subpoena. And so the panel, the chairman, said in the interest of fair hearing, he has given them the 24 hours notice, time to study the notice of subpoena. So we left that day. The subpoena witnesses were not allowed to tender evidence. They were asked to come back the next day and tender their evidence. Meanwhile, in the process, a lot of calls were going on from the PDP lawyer, Clement Moe, and Samson Odaga, the woman's lawyer, particularly. They were making series of calls. The next day, we went back to court. The woman from Ojuloku government, area education Ojuloku government, came very early in the morning and was seated in court with her evidence. But shortly before the court sitting, the woman disappeared. And when she was asked after, the chairman of the tribunal asked, where are the subpoena witnesses? None of them could be found. And my lawyer said, the only person I saw this morning was this woman from Ojuloku government. Where is she? She was nowhere to be. They searched for her. They couldn't find her, and they placed a call across to her. She said she was already on her way back to her station, that she got a call from the Commissioner of Education in Makodi that she should not tender any evidence, that she should leave the court premises immediately and not tender any evidence. That is the reason that they have the other fellows that were supposed to tender evidence to were not in court. That those people are not in court because the commissioner has asked them not to come. So she hurriedly left the court and went back to her station. On hearing that, the panel, very funny. The drama in Nigeria is a very funny one. And the whole country must rise to save this country. The whole Nigeria, all Nigerians must rise to save the country from total collapse. The panel stood up in anger, went to the chamber. And after spending a few minutes in the chamber, they came back and then gave order, compelling those people to come and tender those evidence. We took the court order to Makudi, to the police commissioner, where it was processed as it is expected. And then police personnel were sent to go and bundle those people to court to tender evidence. They were able to get, the police were able to get the woman from Ojuloku government, Mrs. Ireona, while the other two persons ran away. The one from Akpoko and the one from Agasha, they ran away. They did not want to appear in court again. The woman came to court that evening. The husband accompanied her to the court, saying that police arrested his wife. The husband accompanied her. She came to court and said, before they brought her to court, it was already evening, around 5. She came to court and said she could not go to her office to get the document because she was arrested by the police. The police did not permit her to go to her office to pick the document. That she will be tendering. She doesn't want the problem of the court. That she will be tendering her evidence the next day. Meanwhile, she said she has something to say, to tell the court verbally before bringing the reply to the subpoena the next day. And the panel said, oh, say whatever you want to say here. We will note it down. She told the court that going through her archives, she could not find the record of that woman. That in fact, at the time in quote, them as a local government have not been existing. Ojuloku government has not been existing that time. That Ojuloku government only came into existence in 1976. The very year the woman claimed to have finished. And so that they were all in, that is under Otukpo local government that time. That they do not have any record as to that time the woman is claiming. That if there is an inquiry like that, the inquiry should be directed to Otukpo local government. because they were not existing that time to have issued her a certificate. And so the next day she came to support her verbal testimony with document in reply to the subpoena, stating what she earlier said the previous day. And then, in order not to leave any stone unturned, my lawyer also subpoenaed Akpoko. The reason why they have, I want to clear something here. The reason why they have to subpoena Area Education Office Oju was because that time in quote, Obi has not been existing as a local government that time. Obi came into existence, Obi local government came into existence in 1996. As at that time, Obi was still under Oju local government. It was one Oju, it was one local government. So the Area Education Office, if there is, should have been in Oju. The time of 1976, when Oju came into existence, Obi has not been existing. That was the reason they have to subpoena Oju local government. And again, the certificate of the woman bears Area Education Office Oju. Area Education Office Oju is still one of the reasons why they have to subpoena Oju local government to bring the documents that claim that the woman claimed she finished her primary school from. And so my lawyer subpoenaed Akpoko local government too. Akpoko, the area education officer for Akpoko, also came to say the same thing, that they don't have such record. And in fact, all those years, the records are no longer available. And she was citing maybe natural disasters or something. But I told my lawyer, I said, is there any need? Since the woman from Oju local government, where she claimed to have obtained her certificate from, has already stamped it that she brought a reply to the subpoena and tendered to the court, telling the court that there is no such thing, we have not been existing that time, so non-existence local government, non-existence office cannot issue anybody a certificate. The document is available before the court. The certificate, the certified true copy that we obtained from the BSEC, the stamp is from Oju local government. The heading is Area Education Office Oju. Then what is the need of taking subpoena to go again? My lawyer said so that we would deal with. So I don't just want to leave any stone unturned. I said, okay, you know best. But the case has proven itself. The other two persons, the one from Akpoko and the one from Agasha, it was the next day when the policemen were still looking for them. The one from Agasha turned himself in. That he doesn't want the harassment of the police. So he came. But the document he even brought to the court was not relevant to the proceeding at all. It was not relevant to the case. They were asking for a document of 1996 when the woman said she obtained her JHU. They brought document of 1995 that was not even relevant. The subpoena did not ask for that document. Okay, what of the paper, what of the counterfeit of the people that graduated from that school and were issued certificate? Where is it? He said the principal said he should be given more time to look for it. He could not lay hand on it. And that was it. During my cross-examination, the lawyer to the woman, the first question he asked me, he shot himself in the foot and he just gave up. He said he was not going to ask any other question further. He asked me, he said, you were not born in the 1970s. I said, no. He said, so anything that happened in the 70s, you wouldn't know. And I said, I will know, because records are there to show. He said, what kind of records are you talking about? How will you be able to know that this woman does not possess the primary school certificate that she claimed to have obtained from the institution that she. I said, sir, I have gone to the school to check. And also, I am aware through records that there was a decree number 3 in 1991 that established local government education authority across the nation, across the country. There was no such thing as LGEA before 1991. It was the New Year broadcast of Babangida that established, that is in 91 that established LGEA. I told him like that. And so she could not have attended her own school before the school was established, before the school came into existence. So immediately I said that, the man told the panel, he said, that is all for the witness, my lord. That is all for the witness, my lord. He said, and the panel chairman, Honorable Justice Ibrahim Mohammed said, come, there are salient questions you may want to ask this young man. He's a star witness. Ask him questions. And he said, no, sir, that is all for the witness. I'm done, my lord. I'm done, my lord. So the next day, like after that, we close our case. The next day was for them to open their defense. My good people of Nigeria, they said they don't have any witness to call. And so the panel said, go, told the lawyers to go and write their addresses, their final addresses. My lawyer put up a very fine address, explaining the same thing, how we've proven our case exhaustively, explaining to the court also again and again that as at that time there was no LGEA. As at that time, in quotes, or the local government has not been existing. And even the woman from the local government, Irioma, told the panel that then Obi and Oju, the period in quotes, Obi and Oju was even under Otukpo local government, and what they used to have then, the office is called, I think, whether inspectorate, which was in Otukpo, and that office was the one overseeing. The office was the one overseeing Oju and Obi that time. So Oju and Obi was not a local. They were not local governments that time. They were under Otukpo. That was the situation that day. All these things we explained to court. The woman claimed to have finished from a non-existent primary school, graduated. Attended non-existent primary school, graduated from non-existent primary school, and obtained her certificate from a non-existent office. Because we learned the office, area education office in Oju, after the local government was created in 1976 for them, it was even in 1979 that they gave them area education office. And she claimed to have obtained her own certificate from area education office in 1978. So she got a certificate from an office that was not even in existence. We've proven this thing exhaustively to the court. And the woman from there also came to tender reply to subpoena stating exactly the same thing. But guess what? On the day of judgment, it took these people 3 weeks to deliver judgment. After 3 weeks, they came. All the preliminary objections, they ruled them. The other 2 panel members ruled them in our favor, in my favor. Then the main judgment bordering on the 2 grounds, the qualification of the woman and the irregularity of the election. The panel chairman, Justice Ibrahim Idris, said, he who alleges must prove. You were not able to prove your case. That was all. That was all. Say, I was not able to prove my case. For you to know what is happening in this country, and I put this question forward, how else can one still prove a case in Nigeria? What does the law say regarding proving a criminal case when a subpoena witness has come to tender evidence, buttressing our point, supporting our point that what we are actually saying is true? And I have given my testimony, we've given our written address beautifully, and the panel chairman said I was not able to prove it. These people did not call any witness to say yes, it was true or not true. I'm explaining this thing to the world so that they will know the kind of impunity, the kind of lawlessness that is in the system, in Nigerian system. I've gone to appeal the case in Makurdi. I'm challenging that judgment. I've gone to appeal. Today is 28 December 2020. As we speak, they've not set up panel to hear my appeal. I filed appeal on the 1st of this month. It's already 28 days. Appeal is to last for 2 months. We've used a month now. We are left with 1 month. They've not set up panel to hear the appeal. That judgment was delivered to the shock of everyone. Immediately he said that even the lawyers that came to hear the judgment in court, they all stood up and they were walking out. They were walking away. People were so disappointed. You could see it all over their faces. They were so disappointed. And all they were shouting was, Nigeria. Nigeria. Where are we going? Where are we? That somebody who does not attend any institution were able to prove to the court exhaustively, and court still upholds the person, the decision of the ruling party, PDP. All the authorities in Nigeria and my friends overseas, my friends in diaspora, all the relevant authorities must look into this case. We are still at appeal in Makurdi, but they've not set up panel to hear this case. All the evidence tendered are there, and we made copies. Some of them are with us. We make copies of these things, the subpoenas and the reply to the subpoenas. The certified true copies of what the woman submitted to BSEC, we have the copies. Everything, they are here. What could have happened between this time, the 3 weeks? What could have exchanged hands? I don't know. What could have informed that kind of judgment? I don't know. But who will ever be surprised when a criminal, horrible, not honorable, Samson Oku is sitting there in the National Assembly, boasting, telling you that BCX staff are members of PDP, that they will even have to give them votes, give them ballot paper to thumbprint before they get to the polling units. It's a kind of country we find ourselves. He's full of fraud. That man is full of fraud. He's a man that is so boastful. He's so loud-mouthed. He will be telling people in the local government that before he moves, his money moves. And nobody is probing this man. And when we call for bringing sanity into the system, they say we are asking for too much. That our approach is a wrong one. Why are you coming in this form? We have gone the legitimate way. You can see what they've done. took this decision, I gave those that I know can also look at it with me. And I'm calling on the entire world to see what is happening in Nigeria, not just in the executive arm alone. Of course, the legislative arm, I've told you, we don't know how many they are there, but I appointed at one there, sitting there comfortably, who is a criminal. He's a third timer in that place, in the National Assembly. He's been there. This tenure will make it 12 years he has been sitting there. And then you think when you say, you talk anything about National Assembly, one good thing will come out from it. The spirit of esprit de corps. He will tell you he has so much backing that he can do and undo. He's a criminal. Honorable Samson Oko, he's a criminal. I have the recording here. The conversation he had with me, I have the recording here. I think any moment from now, because it's audio voice, to place it on social media, it needs packaging. We have to make it in a video format, the slides, so that you can listen to it. Very soon, they will put it out there for everybody to listen to. I have it here. If he is saying I'm lying, he should come. Let's go to anywhere to go and prove his conversation with me. At the time he was telling my cousin, he said, tell your man to withdraw that case, so that it was Governor Otom's decision. That Governor Otom asked the BSEC to return all PDP members, to all PDP candidates elected. That it was the decision of the governor to do so. That governor said he will not be able to tolerate any other political party in Benue State. That all PDP candidates should be returned. And so Vanguard was the first to blast it. Local government election, where ABGA participated, where Labour participated, where AAC participated. And then they will come to tell you that local government election in Nigeria is only the ruling party that sweep everything. This is the impunity we are in. And I'm appealing to relevant authority to look into this case. We've gone to appeal. They should set up a panel to hear our appeal and address the issue accordingly with the evidence available before the court. Thank you. Thank you for your time taken. I appreciate it. Please share this video. Let it go viral. Share to your friends. Thank you everyone that have taken out time to listen to me this hour. I'm grateful. As we proceed, I will be coming online from time to time to give you updates as we progress in the case. Thank you very much.